So, Nope. Nah. Jordan Peele's third movie. Each movie is obviously different from the next, and I know he's doing that on purpose, which is fine because he said he wants to create original content, and he is. I mean, he's doing it. With this movie, it definitely had its moments of, I thought you were going a different route with this, and it goes this route. So let's go.
It is a very his genre is confusion. That is his genre. It is a thinker. He's a thinker kind of guy, but sometimes it's unnecessary. At least this movie, I was trying to act like that. I was trying to look at every little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Every little thing in the scene and everything. And sure, some things did come back, but the payoff wasn't the same.
So let's just start with the stuff that we liked about it, which was... Oh, this is definitely a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen it, then the title's going to be spoiler talk. Alright, anyways, the big twist of the movie, which is it's not a ship, it's an animal extraterrestrial being itself. And every time I was watching a review on this movie, they're like, ew, Jordan Peele meets Jaws. I'm like, what the? Jaws? And then almost immediately, once you realize, this thing swimming in the clouds looking for something to eat, you're like
a predator.
Yeah.
Just looking at you and it's going.
And the one takes of him looking up and then that one shot where the whole people get sucked out of that little arena. And then you don't know where it's at, and it comes right up on him and starts sucking him out. Yeah, I definitely did get a Jaws feel, and I liked that was his twist on it. Was it's not a ship, it's a thing, it's an entity.
To show you how creepy things can be, especially in the night sky, in the night scenes, and the moon's just lighting it up, and you can see it swimming here and there, and it goes behind clouds and stuff. It shows you how creepy things can be. You don't have to be in the ocean for it.
Right.
I mean, that's mostly where
it was a predator. Yeah, it was definitely a predator. Also, just the second act in general, I really liked where it kind of reveals that it's a monster. It's not really a ship with, intelligent life in it. It's a predator. It's it's an animal.
Animalistic nature to it. It's not complex.
Yeah, exactly. And you see them in that claustrophobic intestines of it, and you're like, holy shit. And then when it flies around, it still keeps its prey alive. I don't know why, but that freaked my shit out too, hearing them screaming, and that's when you can tell where it was at. And then all of a sudden, it flexed, and everybody went quiet, and then it just started digesting all over the house, and that was
metal and keys and coins and all
blood.
Over the place.
Yeah, so all that, I was 100% on board, but then there was just a lot of weird parts sprinkled into this. The chimp scenes.
Gordon something. Gordon's birthday.
Right. Where I know what they're doing with it. They're trying to say you can't tame an animal. Eventually it's going to snap, and, it's an animal. You can't tame it.
It's just an awkward metaphor. And they spent a lot of time in the movie making that point. And honestly, the ape going around smashing people to death was probably the more scary part of the movie. That was it. And, I mean, I was obviously afraid of that thing swimming in the sky and picking you up whenever you moved and stuff. But
also, my big bummer, personally, was I was hoping for little creepy aliens, and that scene where you think that this is the way it's going to go, where, these creepy little crawly aliens, it's slowly peeking over the counter. I'm like, God damn, this is what we're in ride for? And
that's honestly all you need for me, honestly, when it comes to creepy horror, is something just slowly peeking out of the way. And just looking at
when
you.
He first ran,
or just running at you. Something like that, like he didn't get out.
Yeah, and the first one where it creeps up and then it starts, doing this weird shit. You can...
That's all you need.
It's dark, you can't really see much, but you can see it moving.
But they're just kids in masks.
Yeah, and then it turns out to be nothing. Yeah, and that was a pretty big letdown, I'm not gonna lie. And honestly, you could have spliced both.
Yeah.
You could have spliced both it as an organic kind of devouring... it could have been a machine, it could have been its own life form, and those things are also involved. Another weird thing were just things here and there, towards the end, the random TMZ guy comes up.
Just a guy to add into the mix.
It was a joke. Obviously, they're him going ah! and flying over, and then like, do you think he's still alive? And he's like, right, like that's funny. But also in that same scene, like the DP's got it. He finally got it, and then he just goes, I need more, which I think I know what he's going with.
It's a suicide mission.
There, where the DPs put people at risk to get a shot that put people's lives in danger, which is kind of related to this because they're not stunt people, but they have animals that they use in this in movies, in the movie industry, which animals are at risk just like the stuntmen are, because you can't predict what an animal is going to do, which is pretty much what they're going for in this one.
So their whole goal, I was a little confused. They're like, people will do what people always do. Are they trying to prevent that thing from attracting people? So
yeah, I guess if it comes,
more people.
Yeah, because if they want to come and see it, they're gonna look at it and then they're gonna die.
Well, the fucking Air Force is gonna blow it.
But then she killed it. She killed it at the end. It popped like a balloon.
A balloon popped inside of it and it killed it. I mean, yeah.
But they really weren't trying to kill it. They were trying to capture it on film.
Really, just the physical form of the whole thing. It makes you wonder if you can blow it up.
Yeah, why did
Because, I mean, at one point it literally looks like a saucer, your typical
most of the time
UFO thing with a gaping hole, which is its mouth. Then it flares out, and
Inside
for like a
out.
good 5 minutes, you're like, is that something else, or is something getting entangled with it? What the hell is that thing? And it turns out, no, its true form is a jellyfish blimp looking thing.
And its mouth opened up.
Eye. I think that's its eye.
I thought it was its mouth.
Because you can't look at it. The whole thing is, don't look at this, and it's like a weird little flaring eyeball thing.
It looked like
it keeps going back and forth to them, to her.
I told him it looked like a tesseract, like moving in and out, which I guess was a hint that it's possibly like an interdimensional being, where that's why it can move around like it does, and that's why we can't fucking get it on film, because it just doesn't interact with us as much as we think it does.
Crazy.
I mean, if they would have just kept with the creepy crawly men,
yeah,
I would have been okay with that, because
but it would have taken away from that being a single entity by itself. It'd be hard to like say
you could still have it coming swooping it up.
I'm
and
a little
everything.
parasite on this thing, which I mean, you can get fun. There's no rules. Go ahead and do it.
But if you look closely, you kept seeing those alien heads, which I've never seen an alien look like that before, where it looks like that. It's more of like a teardrop kind of look. This one looked more like an ape. Like, that's what the mask looked like. And if you looked in the background, and I noticed in the little flashback scene, 1998, with the chimp running around killing everybody, if you look at the cameras and their films, the film little holsters, that it looks like that too. It looks like the alien eyes. And I'm like, oh, it's the eyes, and it has the camera. I'm like, is this gonna like lead up to something? And it's just like a big old metaphor of like, just don't fuck with Mother Nature when it comes to the expensive entertainment. I don't know. It's one of those movies where you let everyone watch it, you let them get what they get out of it, and then you finally figure out what happens.
I don't know.
So what would you rate these three in order? And I'm going to get this before 20 minutes, so...
I'd say Get Out, Nope, Us. Us is terrible, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that one. And I was getting so excited with this one, too, like... I don't want to be like an asshole and say that I hated it, but the first act and second act, and you're just like, yes. And then even parts of the third act, but then it got to a point where I was just like, there's like three things that I have no idea that just happened and I don't know why. And it didn't really amount to anything. I don't know.
But the ape's hand going through was just a fist bump. And the chick's mangled face was just a chick with a mangled face because the ape fucked her up. And the little alien thing poking around the corner, which is the main one that grabbed me in the trailer, turned out to just be a bunch of kids pranking them.
Right.
And so those three
Reminds
big
me
things
of The Village.
was just nothing.
Is it The Village where you're like, oh, it's monsters? Like, no, it's just dudes in masks.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what would you grade it?
C to C minus, honestly.
My personal opinion, I'd give it probably a low B. Just because I like Daniel Kaluuya in here. I liked him a
He's a
lot.
great
I even
actor.
like the sister a lot in here too. She's very charismatic, and he's very like toned down, like serious, and he's like, don't fuck with the animal.
Their family relationship's pretty good, but honestly, the dad part of it didn't feel a damn thing about that. That dad was in and out in less
It
than
didn't
10
last very
minutes.
long. And it, yeah.
And the shitting quarter thing killed him, and I don't know.
Like I told him, his next movie should just be titled WTF. I know he's like pretty much saying like what people, when you go watch a horror movie, what people usually say, get out! Nope! Nope! Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna watch his movies because they're very different. We'll just see how this one gets received. Anyways, that was our review. See you guys in the next one.